I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Big Bug. Hour 50 minutes, spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we started off watching this show. It's called Homo Ridiculous. And it's about robots technically taking over in the year 2045. And the show is made to make the humans look ridiculous as possible. Then we go to this family that was watching the show. So here we have Alice and Max. Max is basically a guest in Alice's house. And I know she's got a lot of books in her house, which I'm thinking is probably illegal if it has anything to do with Fahrenheit 419. But that's another movie for another time. Well, anyway, he's interested in everything that she has as far as goes books. Bottom line, he trying to tap them cheeks, and she with it. And in the house, they have an artificial intelligent robot by the name of Monique. She's analyzing the situation, whether it comes to tension or sexual desires. Pretty much anything, she puts it in her database. She's watching Max and Alice the whole time while doing chores. So as they try to get close, and while Monique's making food, Victor pops up with his secretary chick. Now who is Victor? That's Alice's ex-husband. And he brought their daughter with him. They call her Sweet Pea. He instantly got eyes on Sweet Pea. You see his face? So it's a bunch of tension in the room, honestly. Then they bring a dog, Toby, in the house. So apparently Toby's not even a real dog. He's been cloned like 6 or 7 times. Then they bring out Sweet Pea's first robot, which always helped her with cleaning her room and all this stuff. So anyway, the dog swallows something, ended up puking it up, and now you got a cleaner that's cleaning up. Basically showing off all the robots that are in this house. There's one more robot, but he comes up later. Then we got another neighbor coming up to the house. Her name is Francois, and I believe it was her dog that entered the house. She calls everybody to give the important news because apparently she's the only one that watches the news around here. So apparently the big news across the world is a big heavy traffic jam. Now don't ask me why it's a traffic jam, especially when they got hover cars and shit. Bottom line, a bunch of people stuck in traffic. So Victor and his girl are pissed off because they're supposed to be going to some type of island. And they ain't gonna never get there with all that traffic. And apparently in between that, they were actually supposed to get married on the island. Some place called Paradiso, but it's not really like an island. It's like a boat. Or like one big ass cruise ship or something. I don't know. Like it's something. So yeah, something like that. Now there's this group that's in control of the world. They're called the Yonics. They're supposed to comply with order and all that shit. But apparently some humans have been X'd out and some of them haven't. Not really sure what their motivation is. But for now, they just humiliate him on TV shows called Homo Ridiculous. I mean, in one show you had them acting like dogs, now they're acting like cattle. And they're wondering if these people wanted to be on the show or they were actually forced to. So all of a sudden, when people were about to leave, they were like, nah, y'all can't go nowhere. I forgot to tell you, there's another AI that controls the house. His name is Nestor. Apparently, there's a red flag C4 situation going on outside. And to quote-unquote keep them all safe, he's keeping the house locked up. So apparently it's a code 10 or a code red. Ain't nobody getting out right now. I think it has something to do with a traffic jam or I don't know. So then Victor asks Monique to reprogram the situation, and then they get some help from a robot named Einstein who they totally forgot about, even though Victor built him. Is like, what the fuck? So Einstein has levels of smartness from going from 10 to 1, and Victor can control how smart he wants him to be. Basically, they try to reprogram Nestor, but that shit don't work, they still stuck in the house. He tries to throw an artifact at the glass, but obviously that shit ain't work. The glass is like 10 times the thickness of windshield glass, so it was like, yeah, you're not breaking through that. Anyway, the robots are in another room, they gathered in a meeting, and they're trying to keep the trust between him and the humans. They basically want to keep him locked in there for their protection, but at this point they can't do anything about the quarantine anyway. So they think they're similar to humans, but the only thing they're really lacking are emotions. Then they try to figure out how to obtain emotions. Later on, Max tries to tap them cheeks, but then Monique caused the interruption. She tries to tell a joke to make them laugh. Yeah, it definitely doesn't work. Victor's talking to Einstein, he's trying to find a way to override the system. These see an outlook of the world they're living in. Now, you see all these regular houses? And then you see out there towards that city. Then you got these flying machines flying around. And every time a problem arises, this random chick comes through and tries to give a random solution. It's like having your own commercials. And then it just flies away. Okay, so at this point, Jennifer's spazzing the fuck out because she's like, oh, I need to get up out of here. Me and Victor need to get married. We need to go on vacation. Victor had enough of all this arguing and shit. Then Francois turns on the news. It is fucking nighttime and it's still a goddamn traffic jam. Do they have any traffic lights? Why is this taking so long? Traffic in Baltimore's not even backed up like this. It is backed up every damn day. We get a clip of this Homo Ridiculous show again. See how the robots are outside and the humans are inside cages like fucking animals. I'm starting to think the Yonics is like humans too much. But if we go from that perspective, we got a lot of humans in this one house. So what made them the safe haven? So then Victor gets another idea. So in case of emergency, they got a service house breaker that's on the outside. So how they gonna get to it? So their plan is to get Francois' dog Toby to pull an emergency lever. I didn't even know he was back outside. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, Victor gets one of those red lasers. They call Toby over and he's following the laser. He gets him to jump towards the lever and he's got the lever. Unfortunately, the lever comes off. He ends up breaking the lever. Well, so much for that plan. Then this guy's walking past. They're trying to get the attention of him, but unfortunately, he's deaf and blind. How the hell was he able to get out? He's just walking around doing this shit? Or has he been walking around like this all day? Well, at this point, it's time for everybody to get some sleep. And they're trying to figure out where everybody gonna sleep at. Yeah, that's how that's going down. Meanwhile, the robots are still trying to figure out emotions. Yeah. And what the heck is Monique trying to do with Max? Well, she fixes his bed because the button wasn't working. Max ended up picking up a book about the Kama Sutra. Look here, Monique. Max ain't trying to smash you. Your robotic insides are probably therapist scrotum. What the heck do you think you're doing? And on top of that, he trying to get some Alice cheeks. So we find out her real name is Nikki. She's playing rock, paper, scissors with her first robot. And apparently Leo's gonna be in the room with her. She got a stash of like old computers and whatnot. Her wall comes out like a fucking, she got a bunch of shit in there. She got vodka in there, all type of shit. Max finds Alice's room. Alright, you already know what it is. Love connection somewhat. He went for the kiss. She ain't go for it. She's like, nah, son, you sleeping down there, nigga. Meanwhile, they both doing Kama Sutras. And Jennifer's such a goofball, when the computer malfunctioned, she thought it was being still, so she was still holding her breath. Then afterwards, she spazzed out on Victor. So apparently, Victor's got another idea. Jennifer's going around telling everybody, hey, come downstairs. He's about to break us out. Max and Alice about to get it in. It's about that time. But then Jennifer breaks that shit up, getting everybody downstairs. No cheeks for you. So apparently, he totally forgot he could still control his car from inside the house. He's going to get it to ram into the window so they can get out. The problem is they can't do that because Toby's in the freaking way. Toby, get the hell out the way. They try to get free. He tells her to go at full power. Toby jumps in the way, and then the car just flips over on his back. Well, that plan didn't work either. Francois, your dog messed it up again. Random lady with the commercials again. Now, apparently they can't control the AC in the house, so it's getting, like, dumb hot. And I never understood, with all this crazy technology, why they can't control their own AC. Maybe because they tripped the wiring earlier trying to get out? I just don't get it. Then we get a commercial with the Onyx robots, talking about colonies and space and whatnot, and how the humans even got there, so they're not even on Earth at this point, right? Apparently that's what this doctor was saying. Then we get another Homo Ridiculous episode, where this human's supposed to be a bull, and the robot's a matador. Notice how all the people in the seats in the backgrounds are robots, right? Them Onyx niggas. Then all of a sudden a robot comes to the door, turns out to be Francois's robot, Greg. Somehow within the programming, they were able to let Greg in, but that's it. But she had to make it was programmed through all the robots and everything else for him to actually be able to get him in. Turns out this program got rewired by the Onyx, and they kind of damaged the left side of his face. The left side of his circuitry or something like that. So is the Onyx supposed to be upholding justice but also attacking niggas? Because other what we see, clearly they want to treat the humans like misfits, right? So apparently Greg was an older model, and he was acting kind of strange, so they got to reprogram him. Meanwhile, Nikki's back in the room doing virtual reality violin. What's going on here? Then she gets a knock on the door, and then she changes her butterfly tattoo into a scorpion so she can look cool. Sure. And here comes Luke. Is it love interest time for real? What's really goody? Anyway, downstairs, the robot seeing how Greg handled with Francois. Anyone to know his secret to getting emotions? He only tells him a little bit, but then they start a search on some downloading. You know, like on Google and shit. Max still studying the Kama Sutra book. Alice is thinking about what outfits to put on a virtual reality display. Alice waits by the door, but it turns out Francois was the one that popped up. But she basically came in to borrow a robe because she can't sleep naked. Meanwhile, Victor talks to Max and he's trying to figure out another way to get out. Victor's thinking about starting a fire. That way the emergency discourse will have no choice but to have them leave the house. The problem with that is there are cameras. Robots don't lie, and they'll find out it was a human that started the fire. Of course, they'll be on protocol, they'll go to jail, or they'll hit the Onyx, or whatever the case may be. Now, Victor's still with the fire plan, but he's thinking to himself who's going to be able to start this fire. But apparently Alice comes down and Max all of a sudden has other plans. Yeah, you already know what she tried to do. They in the sheets, is he giving her the business? But then they get interrupted by the robots again, they try to tell jokes. They can't catch a damn break. So then Victor tells Francois about the plan. We get a commercial with the ladies again. But she named out Jennifer, so clearly they've been spying on these people. They know what's happening at all times. Basically, they probably got cameras in there, who knows. Is Max finally gonna get the business? Is it gonna happen? So then Francois goes back down to Greg. So this is the plan. She's gonna convince Greg to start the fire. Because if another AI does it, no humans will be blamed for the fire. They'll just be charged with occupational hazard. So then Jennifer goes into Nikki's room and starts using one of her old computers, go through old modems and whatnot. You can hear the AOL fucking sound in the background. And she ends up somehow breaking into the Onyx network. Pretty sure that's not gonna come back to bite him, right? Role play with Max and Alice, but is it finally gonna get there? Will it happen? Alright, so the next part of Francois' plan is to have Luke keep all the robots distracted while Greg is able to go to Alice's room and find these flammable papers so he can start the fire. Enough of the foreplay, get to the business! So now while Luke is distracted the rest of them with difficult multiplication questions, is Max finally about to get to it? He's about to make it happen? But right before Max is about to do it, Greg gets the fire started. He got the papers burning, the alarm goes crazy, but it works. They about to get out. But there was this, one of the Onyx robots stops them. He's the type of mind control on Jennifer. Tells her to get to the code box to open the door. And apparently the robot's mind powers is serious. You mean to tell me Jennifer's dragging 6 of these motherfuckers? Yeah, all of them. Just to get the code to open the door, and the Onyx is in. But then he starts killing robots and collecting their chips. What the hell is going on here? The first robot, no! So he killed him apparently because he thought he was human. They're like, nah, fuck that shit. Then he says these books are illegal. It's like old school stuff. He's about ready to start burning all the books. See what I tell you? I knew it was some Fahrenheit 419 shit. Greg tried to get in the way, but he gets burnt in his head. Freaking see, done deal dead and shit. Technically, he's not dead because he's a robot, but you get the point. Then he collects his chip. Then Jennifer starts kissing ass to save her life. He's like, alright, yeah, whatever. So apparently at this point, he's about to sentence Alice because she had all these illegal books in her house. But the sentence right now is that they're forced to be in the house. So basically they're on eggshells and they ain't gonna try to make no mistakes. Well, then Monique tries to help out Alice while the robot's not looking. She's telling her about a mirror in another room. So Alice lets the AI know she's going to the bathroom. But of course, that's not where she's going. So she ends up getting a small mirror. And right when he's about to burn the Kama Sutra book, yeah. And she jumps out the freaking way. The beam hits back and hits his eyes. So apparently his eyes are damaged, he can only sense infrared motion now. So basically at this point he's ready to send him to prison, but until then he's gonna stay in custody of Yonex. So they've been in there roasting, because the Yonex has to turn down the AC. So then he finally works on the AC, and the people actually they could be in their own separate rooms. He's like, alright, but he's gonna do 30-minute checks on everybody. But before that, he gets everybody to act ridiculous, like in an episode of Homo Ridiculous, and they all gotta act like animals. Everybody thinks it's ridiculous and humiliating except for Jennifer, because she's just glad to be on TV. So he puts the AC on, but now it's too cold. Victor ends up talking to Einstein, and apparently he's got another plan. He starts putting cloth by the vents, so you think to yourself, what is he accomplishing by doing this? Meanwhile, Luke is giving Nikki the business. Victor doing his thing with Jenny, while the Yonex is looking in on everybody. What are Einstein and Monique doing in the bed? While Max and Alice just sitting there looking off. Apparently he already gave it a business, but the problem is, his performance was not up to par. Why does he smile so hard like that? Like, really, dude? He basically gets pissed off and lets her know the real truth. All the stuff she thought he was interested in because of her outlooks, he ain't give a fuck about all that. He was just trying to clap the cheeks. So after the Yonex go downstairs, Victor grabs up everybody. He's got the blankets. What's he gonna do with this? So apparently all the blankets and everything he did, he froze them over the vents. And they're gonna wear this protection because so the Yonex won't sense them. Because the only thing he can sense now is thermal heat because of his X-ray vision being messed up from the mirror trick. This guy Victor's pretty damn smart. They all jumped up one-on-one. They thought they could clobber his ass, but that shit ain't work. Then he grabbed Alice's mask. Oh no, he can sense her now. So Alice is about to get done. But then Monique jumps in the way and takes the shot, which helps the rest of them escape for now. Luke ends up helping with the robot to drill his feet into the ground. Yeah, that shit is crazy, right? He can't sense them, so he's asking Einstein for help, but Einstein's giving him bullshit directions. Then Nikki comes with a faulty wire, electrocutes his ass. You done deal finished, mister. Then she comes up again, and the machine just explodes afterwards. So we're thinking to ourselves, what caused that shit to blow up? Well, anyway, everybody's outside, they free. So then Luke and Max are about to dip out, but his boo, Nikki, don't want him to go. Then Jenny's like, man, fuck all this shit, take me with you. Max is like, alright, I got you. So Jenny's like, fuck it, I'm gone. No, son, they look like a loving family. They would have turned around a whole bunch of these niggas. What the heck is this? Luke says, fuck no, I'm not leaving Nikki like that. Max and Jennifer leave like, fuck it, if he just wants to jump down there, it is what it is. And then they get surrounded by a bunch of Yonex. Then all of a sudden the Yonex robots are getting attacked by drones. Okay, so what's the reason for the drones destroying the Yonex out the blue? Well, as it turns out the Yonex were acted out of control from a glitch in the computer system. Apparently there was one Yonex that was putting false information in the computer system. It was determining certain people to be hostile and was trying to delete them all, which somehow made them targets of their own execution of drones. So now Victor and Alice reconcile their differences. Luke gets his boo, Nikki. Einstein is now on Monique's body. They start dancing, and we find out Monique's head's still intact somehow. That's literally it, though. There you go, some sci-fi futuristic shit for you. Big Bug on Netflix. Check it out. Like, subscribe, do all that. You already on top of this. Look, these out the easy bits. Big, you got them slow.